Hello and welcome to Allianz Stadium here for your round 13 clash. Proudly brought to you by TBC Live. It's the Sydney Roosters taking on the Gold Coast Titans, and both sides with nothing but pride to play for here tonight. Obviously both teams out of the finals picture, but they'll be looking to try and send the season off on a high note in front of a healthy crowd here. As this Bondi faithful get ready to watch their Roosters try and get their second win of the season. And joining me in the commentary box is my good mate Tyrone Clay. And Tyrone, with a game like this, nothing but pride to play for. You can't imagine but these two sides just throwing it around, playing a bit of unorthodox footy and maybe having a bit of fun out there as they try and end this one off with a W.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if that happened. And just looking at the Titans, Michael McLucky's playing out of the hooker role this week, and it's been a big, interesting move from Mike Borsons. However, as you said, they don't have anything to play for, so you can try a few different players in a few different positions. So it'd be interesting to see how this game plays out.
Yeah, that's right, Tyrone. And speaking of rolling the dice, Matty Harris deciding not to play at fullback this week, so he will finish the season back in the 13 jersey, with Milo Kerrigan shifting out to second row at the 11 spot. And there's just a lot of hype here for both these sides. I mean, now that the finals picture is out, or they're out of the finals picture for both teams, you can probably expect just some unpredictable footy. Both these teams will obviously want to finish this season off on a high, especially the Roosters. There hasn't been much to cheer for them this season. They've got a great chance here in front of our home crowd to end it all off. And Tyrone, in your opinion, what's been your thoughts on the Roosters season this season?
Yeah, they've had a mostly down season, obviously picking up only that one solitary win against the Rabbitohs, which I'm still mad about. However, they just haven't performed like we would have expected them to. We just would have. Oh, it's Mike Borsons.
Filthy dummy alert. Oh, geez, make sure you're in your seats, folks, because you might have just missed that filthy dummy thrown by the New South Wales Blues halfback, Mike Borsons. And now the Titans inside the 20. Fifth and last now. Where will they go? McLucky plays it out to Ryan. Double pass to Mike Borsons, and he puts up a high bomb. They're going to let it bounce, I think. And it just ricochets off the defender. And Matty Harris is there. He found a bit of open space. And the Titans asking questions early on here, but the Roosters, bit of luck going their way.
Yes, we get to see Weston. Oh, he's up over halfway. And the Roosters, where has this been all season? They've just tried to throw the ball around now, and it seems to be working as the Titans can't find a way to stop it, and it'll be interesting to see if they can stop it.
Yeah, and once the game plan goes out the window, you don't know how they're going to play. It's going to be very unorthodox and hard for the Titans to try and contain the Roosters' attack. But the same can be said for both teams. I mean, we just don't know what we're going to see, whether they stick to their structures or they play off the cuff here. Fifth and last now, the Roosters just inside the 30. Opposition half is Ethan Goodwin playing at the halfback spot tonight. And he'll stab it towards the corner of Corey Goetz. And there's been a lot of shuffling around for this Roosters team list throughout the season. And to see Ethan Goodwin shift out from wing to fullback and now playing at halfback, Matty Harris probably trying to find what could work for his team next season, as Hayden Davis gets a huge bump off with the offload. McLucky gets away, he puts on a big fend, and he's taken high in a huge tackle. Oh, geez, nearly had his headgear knocked off his head there as the penalty is blown. And Tyrone, the Titans with an early chance here just outside the red zone.
Yeah, they've got to take this on, you'd have to think. And just great heads-up play from the Titans. McLucky getting his head basically taken off by Ethan Goodwin. And now the Titans are going to have great field position here, Sonny.
Yeah, McLucky's just restrapped his headgear, so he's got it on nice and tight now, nice and snug. Second tackle, short ball to Hayden Davis, and he'll just run it up. Gets taken by two defenders there. Inside the 10, the Titans trying to get the first points on the board. And it hasn't been their best season, obviously. They've missed out on finals contention. And we'll be looking to try and steal one on the right as Mark Lee gets a big fend off. And he'll just stroll over the line for the first try of the game. What a try. What a superstar Mark Lee you are.
It just seemed a bit too easy there. I thought he just had to beat that one defender in front of him, which he did, and no one was there, so he just had a free run to the line.
Yeah, and you could see Matty Harris in the background missing the tackle and just slamming his hand onto the ground. It's not the ideal start, but the Goldie doing a great job to capitalise off that possession as we see McLucky slot it 6-0 in favour of the visitors, and McLucky will probably be a bit happy this week, Tyrone. He was playing off the bench centre last week, and he might have found his new spot here, his new position. What a beautiful try that was to help, a beautiful line break it was from McLucky to help set up that try for Mark Lee.
It was, and that's what the Titans have been looking for a while now. They just need one player to stand up for them, and I think Michael McLucky did a really good job there. And maybe, as you said, he's found himself a new home at that hooker role.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with him and Mark Lee in terms of that hooker spot. But another thing we should mention is this is the farewell game for Lachlan Martin, announcing that he will be retiring from the SRL effective this season. And unfortunately, the Titans couldn't make finals, but they'll be looking to try and send off the former SRL commissioner on a high note, and he's done so many great things for this league. Help not only saving the SRL at one point, but help elevating it to new heights that we see today. So a lot of emotion here tonight, and I'm sure we'd love to see Lachlan Martin get over for a pie and have a blinder of a game as McLucky now from the 9 spot gets a crossfield punt. It's pretty short, but Dolan's there to field it. And the Roosters need to get going here now. They don't want to get too far behind, Tyrone.
No, as we say that, McLucky!
McLucky's gone! Oh, McLucky's gone! He swoops off the ball, taken off in a huge hit there. And McLucky, his eyes just lit up. All he had to do was pick up the ball and run it a good 20, 30 meters. And oh, geez, what a try there from the Titans, Tyrone.
Wow! When you thought it couldn't happen, they were just trying to defend. They forced the error, and Michael McLucky just great heads up play, and he runs through and scores. Just brilliant work from the Titans there.
And you could not ask for a better try there if you're the Goldie. I mean, geez, it's one thing to see those big hits. It's another when they force the ball loose, and it's a thing altogether when the opposition regathers the ball and just swoops in on it for an easy try. Could be a tale of things to come here tonight. Could be a sign, considering the luck of the Roosters this season and the Goldie just rubbing their hands at the moment. They're up 12-0 with just 11 minutes played. Jeez, Tyrone, like we said before, the Roosters, you don't want to let the opposition get out to an early lead because it will be hard for them to try and come back in this one.
It will be, and that's going to be Roosters' issue. They've only let the Titans out 12-0, and we know the Titans can strike and score more points, and it's just a matter of the Roosters trying to contain them here, you'd have to say.
As we see Mike Borson's, risky ball. He was holding onto it and ends up passing it at the last millisecond of that. Third tackle now, the Titans on the 30. As we see Luke Driscoll now trying to barge his way, get some breathing room for his side. And they'll line up formation, but McLucky straight from dummy half. He'll dart there. And McLucky not afraid to chance his arm tonight. I think he's trying to prove a point that he deserves a starting spot in this squad for next season. And we'll see how it all transpires for the Gold Coast Titans and their roster. As Marshall Edwards fields it now, 15 metres out from their own try line east. Give it out wide to Ethan Goodwin there on the wing, playing at the 7th spot, but just getting into some familiar territory for the young halfback for tonight. Daniel Punch now winds it up. Good post-contact meters there to the 40. And the Roosters finding a little bit of rhythm now as Blair Curtin tries to get something going on the left edge, but he's brought back. Solid defense from the Gold Coast on this set. They drop in formation. Ether's there. He tries the crossfield 40-20, but it's just too much of an ask for him as Donald will now field it. O'Donnell gets past one, but he's brought down again. And the Roosters on the pump again early on as they try and repel this Goldie attack. But let's talk about the Gold Coast, Tyrone. Their season obviously not going to how many would have thought it they would have been, considering they made it to the prelims last season. What do you think went wrong for the Gold Coast this season?
I just think the problem for the Gold Coast was they had a few close games, and unfortunately, they lost those
Oh,
games.
filthy dummy alert! Sorry to
Woohoo!
cut you off again, Tyrone, but Mike Borsons has thrown 2 filthy dummies in the first 15 minutes. Give him 3 points for the Sim VP right now. I'm saying it right now. Mark Lee, great kick. He
Oh.
lets it bounce. And geez, just another millisecond in the air. The Gold Coast winger probably could have ran onto it. Maybe Corey Goetz or someone on that side, but the Titans, they're just starting off hot here tonight, Tyrone. They really want to prove a point here tonight.
Yeah, they do. They want to prove that they can still compete in this competition, even if they're down and out. So it'd be interesting to see how the Roosters try and fight back at this. But currently, the way the game's going, I think the Titans could just roll over them at this rate.
Yeah, they've really just turned up early on here. As Nicholas Ether on the left edge cuts back in field, but O'Donnell's there to wrap him up. But they're in enemy half now, the Roosters, as we see them give it short to Curtin. Cut out ball to Charlie Butler, who just winds the ball up on the 40 now. And the Roosters making slow ground as we see them shift it back out to Kerrigan. 50 meters gain on the set for East. 5th and last now as they drop in the slot to Blair Curtin. Crossfield punt there, and it's going to land straight towards Corey Goetz. Steps on the left wing, tries to cut in field, but he's wrapped there in a great tackle. It's first tackle now for the Gold Coast Titans, who, just give it short to Hayden Davis, and Hayden Davis has got space with the offload. And the Titans are really turning it up here. We spoke about the unpredictability factor. You know, the fact that these teams are just going to leave it all out on the field tonight. It's all unorthodox players. Michael McLucky straight from dummy half with the pass. But he overchances his arm there. He just pulls the trigger too early. And Kerrigan there to sweep it. But I'll tell you what, Tyrone, Michael McLucky is having quite a game at hooker early on here in the first half.
He is. He just wants to be in everything. And so far, he's actually not doing bad up until that intercept. So maybe this is Michael McLucky's, what would you call it? Legacy game. It would be Michael McLucky's legacy game today as Roosters get through that.
Could find his calling tonight. Could be a potential future hooker. Potentially with Mark Lee maybe slotting in at the lock position. Who knows? But yeah, they've really turned up here, the visitors, and we see Brad Goodwin get them just shy of the red zone now. 20 minutes played, 5th and last. They go short. Blair Curtin puts in a grubber, but no one's there except the free Christian McKay. And all he has to do is stick that size 14 foot out of his, and that ball's going nowhere. But Christian McKay, we're used to seeing him play in the prop forwards, but he's playing in the second row for tonight, Tyrone. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's an interesting move. Obviously, playing so well in the props, moving out to the second row is an interesting move, but it is Mike Borsons. He does know where to put his players, so it'll be interesting to see how he plays out there.
They line up in formation. Liam Ryan goes for the 40-20. He's over the 20 line, though, and it's a great bounce. Geez, if Liam Ryan just kicked that one short of the line, that would have been a 40-20 here for the Gold Coast. But the Queensland Maroons rep, just one step too many. And the Roosters letting it bounce out of play, get a bit of a breather and time to readjust on this return set. And the Gold Coast have been doing a great job of pinning them deep in their own half. It's been very hard for the Roosters to make meters on their attacking sets, so they'll need to try and dig deep here. And Jimmy Ralph, what a good play there. Just bumps one off and gets through nearly to the halfway line. And Jimmy Ralph, someone else that's been shuffled throughout this team list all season. You have to wonder what his future will look like for next season. Beautiful inside border. Weston gets the cutout pass to Jimmy Ralph. Offload back to Bruce Buckley. And the Roosters, all of a sudden, they've got a bit of energy about them now. They're finding a bit of confidence in their play, a bit of swagger in their play as we see Kerrigan wind it up inside the 30. They're trying to get to the red zone, the Roosters. Don't think they've been there too many times, maybe once all game so far. 5th and last now, 61 gain for East. Ether plays it out to Curtin, who puts up a high ball. It's a good one. Where's it going to land? And a perfect catch there from Nathan O'Donnell. Cool, calm, and collected under the pressure.
Yeah, it was. I thought it was going to hit the post, so lucky as Liam Rogers and the Titans here going to get some really good field position. Not even, it is zero tackle, 40 meters out. And man, the Titans, they're looking good today. And if they keep going and the Roosters don't do anything to fight back, oh, this could get ugly.
Yeah, the Titans have been a bit hot and cold this season, haven't they? I mean, they've had some huge wins. And we talk about that record-breaking win against the Broncos, something like 54-34, I believe it was. But, I mean, it's just been the inconsistency that's really gotten to them. And unfortunately, their finals chances has escaped them this season. But when we see them playing at their best, they are just an eye to behold, as we see Daly now play the ball to Driscoll, who just take the contact. Gets him inside the 10 now. The Gold Coast, dangerous position here. Where will they go? Liam Ryan's on the short side. They'll give it to him. Puts in the grubber. Nathan O'Donnell is there to finish it off as clean as you'd like it. And 3 unanswered tries now for the visitors, Tyrone. They are just putting on the points early on here at Allianz Stadium.
They are, and that is just a textbook grubber play there from Liam Ryan. Perfectly weighted, and Nathan O'Donnell gets there, and it's a simple try for the Titans, and just the scoreboard's getting out of hand here for the Roosters, you have to say.
Yeah, and as you look over towards their group of players, I mean, you can just tell by the body language, you know, they are demoralized at the moment, and it's just been really cognizant of the season that they've had, the Roosters. I don't think anyone would have ever predicted that the Roosters would finish dead last with one wooden spin, with one loss. I mean, one win.
They do have that too.
I mean, you know, Matty Harris's trophy cabinet is pretty full, so he's got the wooden spoon to add to it as well.
Lots
It'll
of
probably
variety.
be right at the bottom. Yeah, chuck some red and blue ribbons on it, you know, make it look a bit nice. But, I mean, for Matty Harris, this has got to be a huge season for him in the fact that I don't think even he would have seen this coming, Tyrone. He's been so accustomed to winning and so accustomed to success. It's almost been like a sudden drop off the cliff for him and the Roosters.
It has, and it's just been interesting to see how he's been able to manage this situation. I mean, it is very hard to manage a situation when you've won one game all season, so it'll be interesting to see what happens in the off-season and how they rebuild for next season.
Yeah, and from what I've heard, Blair Curtin has done a great job trying to keep, keep some hype and some buzz in the sheds for the Roosters. They haven't had much to look forward to, so it can be difficult to navigate that as a captain or a vice captain. Trying to keep your boys motivated, try to keep them invested into this season. But the Roosters, they really need to get a wriggle on now. And with plays like that, oh, the referee showing leniency, but Matty Harris is here. I'll throw it back. That was meant to be called. Maybe some good sportsmanship shown from the Roosters captain, but the Titans once again knocking on the door straight to McKay. He's got space, and he'll be, taken out just shy of the line of try-saving tackle. Tyler Weston trying to take it back coast to coast. And McKay's filthy with himself. He had the try. He just didn't have the legs, Tyrone. And he gets agonizingly short of the line. Losing the ball. What a try-saving play from the Roosters.
Oh, brilliant. I don't know exactly who it was, but great chase. And he had one job, Christian McKay. He just had to get to the line and put it over. Unfortunately, his big legs couldn't get there. And now the Roosters will be breathing a big sigh of relief.
And a beautiful short ball to Milo Kerrigan. But once again, the Roosters just throw it away, and Harris Andrews is going to look to try and return it. And he's on the right-hand side, but he's brought down. That tackle needed to be made. First tackle now for the visitors once again inside the red zone, straight to Nathan O'Donnell. They won't let this one slip away this time. 22-0, kick to come in front of the goalpost. And geez, Tyrone, if you're the Titans, you're loving it right now, but the Roosters, it's getting ugly for them.
Yeah, and just brilliant sequence of play and just brilliant stuff, and Titans are brilliant.
Yeah, they're definitely brilliant here tonight. I mean, to start off with 4 unanswered tries in 30 minutes, that is just, geez. I mean, that is just some great stuff from the Titans. You know, they're channeling all their energy, all that frustration from this season, and they're bringing it into tonight's game. Unfortunately for the Roosters, they're going to be the sacrificial lamb to the havoc that they've been wreaking. But I mean, geez, it's just one of those nights. It feels like where the Titans are just, everything's going their way.
It is, and not much. There's not much you can do really about it. It's quite unfortunate for the Roosters, but it's good to see how well the Titans are playing that.
Yeah, and we spoke about the Roosters just playing off the cuff, but I think they're throwing it around too much here. They're just getting too desperate and pulling the trigger too early on most of their plays. As we see Corey Goetz taken down, and he'll be driven out of touch there. The Roosters fans on the sideline giving him a round of applause. They finally got something to cheer for. And the Roosters, you have to say, Tyrone, they need to score off this set and make this one count.
Oh, absolutely. And if they don't do so, I mean, they still have time, but it just makes the job even harder. So a try here would help massively towards the Roosters.
Yeah, you don't want to let the Titans get off to another try here. Otherwise, you'll be looking at trying to break the record for the biggest comeback in the SRL. And Matty Harris, big fin there, gets the offload to Blair Curtin as vice captain. Curtin stops short of the line. The Roosters finally with a chance now inside the 10. They give it short to Kerrigan. Kerrigan will try the crash play, but he's turned on his back there. And Blake Harris will call held up, so they'll have to play the ball here, Sydney. For tackle now, they'll give it midfield. Ethan Goodwin is there to take the contact. Fifth and last now, 47 on this set for Roosters as we see Butler play the ball out to Ralph. And Ralph, I don't know what just happened there, but the Roosters have just ended up on that set with pie on their face.
They have, and just been their season, really. They've looked to do something, but then it's all come crashing down, so not what you want to see, and now the Titans trying to capitalize and score yet another try.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to dig into the Roosters because they've already had a tough season, but geez, it's like unfamiliar territory for them once they're in the red zone. It's almost like they don't know what to do there because they rarely do get in there this season. It's just the finishing that's really let them down. But fifth and last here for the Titans. Rogers plays the ball. McLucky passes it out to Liam Ryan. He'll go for the crossfield punt. Stabs it straight to Justin Dolan. And Dolan is taken down by Rogers on the kick return. But the Roosters inside enemy territory now as we see Goodwin inside to Tyler Weston. And Rogers there to take him down once again, getting very active on this set. And they'll cut the ball out to Dolan, and Dolan is just driven down there. Third tackle now. The Roosters making slow progress, trying to get inside the red zone. Curtin gives a short ball to Kerrigan. Kerrigan cuts back infield, taken down by O'Donnell. Fourth tackle now. Roosters, can you come up with some trumps here as we see them shifted out? Justin Dolan steps one and just has to dive over the line, and he'll get the first points of the board for the Sydney Roosters.
Yeah, they needed to score there as well. Dolan, brilliant play leading up to Milo Kerrigan's run, set them up, and Dolan finishes it off with a brilliant try.
And that'll get the home crowd buzzing about something here as we see Blair Curtin about to take the kick out wide to the left. And Blair Curtin, another one that's been shifted around, but pretty much the spine for the Roosters has just, it's been mix and match for them all season. But Curtin playing in the 6th jersey tonight, he'll slot that one to make it 24-6 in favor of the Gold Coast Titans. And with just under 4 minutes left to play in this first half, proudly brought to you by TBC Live, Tyrone, the Roosters would love to notch up one more pie before halftime.
Oh, absolutely. But if if the scoreline stays the same, I think the Titans will still be happy with it. But just still be disappointed that they let the Roosters score, even if they're trying to cakewalk them here.
He's held there. Right, here's tackle one.
Yeah, and you can tell the Titans, they haven't came into this game with a complacent mentality. They've really turned up and knew that they had to bring their best footy. You know, they may not be playing for finals. Oh, but it's an interception! Liam Ryan is there to just pick it off as cool as you'd love him to come. And now all of a sudden, the Titans first tackle inside the 10. They give it short side to O'Donnell. Boston's ends up with it. He tries to get the filthy dummy off, but he's wrapped by two Roosters defenders. As we see subs about to come on for the Titans. Before halftime, Harris Andrews steps on the right. is going nowhere. Third tackle now. They give it short side. Borson's flat ball to McKay. McKay was there, but he's driven back into the field of play. Fourth tackle now. They go right. Borson's will end up with it again, but no, nothing doing there. And now the Titans will play the ball. Just over a minute left in this first half. Fifth and last here. They drop back, double pass to the pocket. Liam Ryan puts up a high bomb. Who's going to end up with it? They all jump up. And Nathan O'Donnell, he split the defenders. But some last second defense saves the Roosters from another try being scored.
Oh, yeah, and Roosters will be pumped about that. Just not letting the Titans score another one. And it keeps them in the game, really. They would have been out by 24 yet again, and you could have almost said it was game over.
Yeah, great point, Tyrone. That could have well been a try-saving play, a game-saving play from the Roosters. Left side, Nicholas Ether, but he's driven down. 24-6. Halftime is the score. Yes, good evening and welcome back to Allianz Stadium for your round 13 clash between the Roosters and the Titans, proudly brought to you by TBC Live. Make sure you check them out on the App Store. It's an 18-point lead in favour of the visitors here, 24-6 in favour of the Titans. And Tyrone, that first half, it was just all Gold Coast. So we see Hayden Davis take the run up now.
Was. Ooh, sorry for that. But yeah, the Titans just working it up all the way, just out-muscling the Roosters. And although the Roosters coming back in towards the end of the half, just making it a little bit more even as the Roosters will get an opportunity here, Sonny.
Yeah, and they couldn't have asked for a better start to the second half. McKay making a couple of errors tonight, probably just being out of position than what he's normally used to in the prop forwards. But we'll see how the Gold Coast line can hold up here as we see Jimmy Ralph take the run in. Third tackle now. Roosters give it to Kerrigan. Oh, short ball to Harris. Gets the offload back out to Butler. He probably should have just held it, the Roosters captain. And they lose a few meters on this play. Fourth tackle now. Roosters shifting around and they'll give a flat ball out to Matty Harris. And he'll just take that one back inside the red zone now. Fifth and last for East. Where will they go? Home crowd cheering them on as we see Curtin just run it up to the line. And he'll hold the ball there. Not risking the kick, not risking a 7 tackle set on the restart. But Tyrone, that's just not the way you're going to get back in this game on fifth tackle options like that.
2 hands away.
Yeah, you just have to kick the ball. And very disappointing there from Blake Curtin and the Titans. Get away with one.
Let him go.
And an honourable mention to Michael McLucky having over 180 run meters in the first half. 4 line breaks, a tackle break, try assist, and a try to his name. So good on McLucky. Playing at the 9 jersey tonight. He's got big shoes to fill, taking over the role from Mark Lee. But he's holding his own here tonight, throwing himself at the challenge now. Fifth and last, good defense from the Roosters. Keeps the Titans trapped inside their own half and pinned deep inside their own end as Justin Dolan lets it bounce, takes it on the return, gets past Nathan O'Donnell, but he's dragged down in a desperate tackle. A try-saver tackle there from the Goldie now. Blair Curtin shifts it out. Daniel Punch runs over one, cuts back in field. And the Roosters, they must have been given a huge spray by Matty Harris at half-time because they are just firing here in the second now. Josh Jensen coming off the bench, slotting into the right-hand side on that wing there as we see third tackle, inside ball to Butler. And Butler will just wind it up inside the 10 now. The Roosters, flat ball. Goodwin's there, but it's called a forward pass. And geez, the Roosters, another prime chance for them inside the red zone, but it just goes begging once again.
Oh, yes, it does. And it's just disappointing. They have the opportunity, they have the field position, however, they just don't do anything from it.
3 back with me.
Yeah, and they really need to fix those fit tackle options there. They're getting some chances, but you know, it's just all turning into dog's breakfast at the end of it. So they need to turn it around here, the Chooks. And as we see Liam Ryan now, he'll take them on the last tackle here for the visitors. They drop back to Mark Lee. Mark Lee will just send it downfield to Justin Dolan, who's there and waiting for him. And Dolan flirting with the touchline a bit.
He's held
Could
there.
have been dragged
Clear
out
him
once
now.
again, but he stays in field this time. And some questions being asked of the Roosters early in the second now. They need to try and get to the other side of the field, and they need to do it as soon as possible, Tyrone.
He's held there. Held. 3.
Yes, they do, and it's going to be very difficult
4.
when
Get back. Look at me.
it's a
Held.
back and forth game. However,
Let him go.
don't count them out because they still can do it.
And Matty Harris with an open break there just lines it up at Nathan O'Donnell. But O'Donnell doing well to hold it down and not shy away from the big prop forward as we see Curtin now puts up a high ball. It's going to the left-hand side. Who's under it? It's Dylan Murray.
Right. Here's
And
tackle
Dylan
1.
Murray doing a great job under the high ball. He's been a great centre this season in the SRL. Christian McKay now, he's got a bit of space.
Held. Up now.
I don't think the big unit is used to running this much. He's more of a contact first type of player. And the cutout pass straight into the arms of Jimmy Ralph.
That's
And
1.
Tyrone, I don't know what's happened to the Titans at halftime, but once again, an unforced mistake there, turning the ball over.
That's your
And
second.
now they're on dicey territory here in their own red zone.
He's held there. 3. Marcus locking.
Yeah, and this is that was just disappointing play from the Tigers. But now the Roosters, they've got to score here. You'd have to say, try and get them back within
That's a good
14
win.
or 12 points.
Hold. He's held there.
Takes the ball now in fifth and last here for the Roosters. 30 gain on the set. Slow play the ball. They drop back in the pocket. Curtin's there. Curtin puts up a high ball. And Daly's there to field it. But he's met in some good defense there from the Roosters that'll keep him pinned deep inside the 10. They'll try and follow it up now with the defensive set here as Driscoll takes that ball.
On the keep going.
And the Roosters really applying pressure on the Titans' attack this second half. Kind of wondering where it was in the first half. But it's good to see them finally start to make a bit of progress now as they try and chip away at this deficit. And another intercept thrown straight to the Roosters. And I don't know what is going on with the Goldie, but they are just making dogs brekkie out of all the sets that they've had in the second half, Tyrone.
2. Hands
Oh,
away.
they absolutely have. They just don't want the ball. I think they're allergic to it now. They were doing so well in the first half. They don't want it anymore.
He's held there.
The Roosters here have yet another opportunity to score here.
And Butler, reverse Jameson shuffle. He fends one off with the don't argue, but he's brought down by Nathan O'Donnell. 5 meters out from the line. 4 tackle now. He's shifted out to Ethan Goodwin. Not a forward pass this time, but Ethan Goodwin is turned on his back. Blake Harris will want to send this one upstairs. But the Titans, they are on the ropes now. You just don't know whether it's going to be a matter of time before they eventually buckle under the pressure. Well, fifth and last here for the Roosters. Flat ball to Kerrigan, puts in a grubber, and it's there for Blair Curtin to swoop it up and score the try straight under the black dot. First try of the second half goes to the Roosters, and Blair Curtin gets that one down, but it was a beautiful grubber there from Milo Kerrigan, Tyrone, and the Roosters find themselves back on the board.
And just brilliant play. Blair Curtin finding the ball, going over, and now the Roosters, they have a little bit of headway into this game. You wouldn't have thought so after half an hour, being down 24-0. However, it's become a real possibility.
Yeah, they're starting to believe now here, the Roosters. They really needed to be the first ones to score in this second half. Some could have even argued that there's just too much damage for them to overcome in the first, but they finally get back on the board. So now 2 unanswered tries for the Roosters, 12-point deficit. They just need to take this game by the neck, by the scruff of the neck. They really need to just force their way back into it. And with under half an hour left to be played, they've got plenty of time to spark a comeback, but they don't want to rush themselves. They just need to focus on finishing the sets. Brad Goodwin off the kick return just lays out Lockie Martin. Says, take that one on your farewell tour, mate, as we see Matty Harris now on the left-hand side. What's he doing there? Get him back in the middle. The big fella, he's too used to playing as an outside back from the past 2 weeks. Blair Curtin, inside ball to punch. He gets the offload. Kerrigan flat ball out to Butler. And all of a sudden, This just feels like a different Roosters team that we're seeing as we see Blair Curtin short ball to Tierney, who steps past one. And now the Roosters just 5 meters away from the red zone as they play the ball. Tierney, Curtin gets it now. Oh, but he throws it straight to Michael McLucky, who was just playing out of his skin tonight. And an unforced mistake from the Roosters just sees them drop a prime opportunity, Tyrone.
Oh, and they would have had them in trouble, the Roosters, but however, they just didn't get their last tackle option correct, and now the Titans here will get the ball with a good opportunity. Oh, great run.
Get back, look at me.
And Lockie Martin, what a run he's having, playing in the props tonight for his last game in the SRL. And he's trying everything he can do to help his team finish the season off with a win. And Christian McKay, the big unit, just gets in the way. It can be hard to pass around those pecs of his, but geez, it was just right in the way there, and that just lets the pressure off for the Titans. And the Roosters now, first tackle, they get an inside enemy half here as Daniel Punch will take it. And Butler now gives a flat ball out to Matty Harris, and Matty Harris trying to lead by example, trying to lead the way for his Roosters side. Be interesting to see how they approach this offseason with the draft, with the free agency, with the re-signing window. Only a few weeks out. Oh, big hit there! And geez, the Roosters get laid out on that set. 2 consecutive sets with unforced mistakes, or you could say that was a forced mistake because it was just big contact that lodged that ball loose.
Yeah, and just yeah, and the Titans, they'll be happy with it. Now they get a good opportunity here with O'Donnell.
And O'Donnell straight through the gap, and oh, he just throws it straight to another Roosters defender. This has happened so many times for the Gold Coast in the second half. I believe that's like the 4th interception that they've thrown. Forgive me if I'm wrong. Oh, what an offload to Milo Kerrigan straight through the middle. And what is this we're watching, Tyrone? The Roosters are here to play. They've turned up in the second half. Better late than never. Let's see the Roosters go and do some magic here. Matty Harris takes him shy of the 20. Knocking on the red zone now. 3rd tackle for East as they shift it back towards the middle. Milo Kerrigan, we've said his name how many times tonight. He has just played out of his skin for this Roosters side. And we see them give it back out to Matty Harris. And he has been all over the ball in this second half. 5th and last now. The Roosters 5 out from the line. They pass it back in the slot. Curtin with the grabber. Straight to Tyler Weston, and he's taken out of bounds. It was a certain try. It was there for all money. He just had to put the ball down. But the defensive pressure forcing him over the try line. And that one goes begging for the Roosters, Tyrone. That's excruciating stuff for them.
Oh. When you thought the first 2 went away for them, that one should have been scored. He was
another
right
interception. Hayden Miller takes that one out in there. Sorry to cut you off, Tyrone, but the Roosters are just ball hawking at this point. If we had secondaries like they do in the NFL, then this would be a no-fly zone for the Titans as we see them play the ball just shy of the 10. Left-hand side, they give it. Curtin goes to Nicholas Ether. And this Bondi crowd is just getting behind their boys. It's the last game of the season. They want to finish it off with a win. Ethan Goodwin winds up with it taken down 3 meters shy of the try line. Plays the ball for tackle, flat ball to Matty Harris. The skipper will cross. And the Roosters score another try. Their 3rd unanswered try in this game. And geez, Tyrone, I don't know what's happened to them at halftime. I don't know what Matty put in their water. But it's certainly doing wonders for them now.
Oh, this is just wonderful, and they're only going to be within 8 or 6 points here. Who would have thought? Just bringing their momentum, and what a comeback this has been.
Yeah, he certainly cannot fault the effort of the Roosters. They have just flipped this game on its head in the second half. And the Titans not doing themselves any favor with those unforced mistakes, just throwing interceptions straight to the Roosters. As we can see Mike Borson's in the background shouting out the instructions to his boys to just hold the effing ball as, you know, they've had a 24-0 lead to start this one. and they have just let it go, Tyrone. 3 unanswered tries, and the Roosters are 1 converted try away from leveling this game with just under 20 minutes to go.
Yeah, and if the Roosters do end up overcoming it, it will be the joint biggest comeback in SRL history.
Jeez, what a way it would be for them to send off the season, considering the season they've had. If they can pull a comeback out here, jeez, good on them. That would mean so much for them in a season that hasn't really had its highlights, but they want to finish off strong in front of a provoking home crowd. Jimmy Ralph on the right edge, forced to be driven down there by Nathan O'Donnell, but the Roosters now inside enemy half. They go out wide to Marshall Edwards, and I thought he was going to get the step on there, but the Gold Coast not letting him pass this time. 5th and last now. Inside the 30, they drop it back in the pocket. Kerrigan's there. Thought he was going to kick it into his defender. They were all over the place, and Harris Andrews steps one, but he's brought down. And now the Gold Coast Titans, you'd have to say that their number one objective, their number one priority is to just look after the footy and don't turn it over, because it has just been a blunder of a second half for them in terms of ball security, as Hayden Davis just straight through the middle, looking like they didn't even want to touch him on that run. 3rd tackle now, 65 played in your round 13 clash at Allianz Stadium. Brought to you by our good friends at TBC Live. Make sure you check them out on the App Store. 4th tackle for the Titans inside the red zone now. They finally got some possession now on this side of the field, and they'll be looking to capitalize off it. 80 meters gain on the set. They drop back in the pocket. Liam Ryan is there, puts up a high bomb. Bit of a Birdo bomb there. It's swirling. Tap back. Nathan O'Donnell does the Superman dive. And the Titans finally get one back on the board in the second half.
Oh, and just to relieve some of the momentum, the Roosters had scored the last 3 tries, and Nathan O'Donnell gets his hat trick, and now you'd have to think it's a big mountain to climb here for the Roosters.
Yeah, and geez, they would have been loving life about 2 minutes ago, considering the deficit that they've had to come back from. But just like that, the Titans capitalizing off that opportunity inside the red zone, which will get them out to 30 points to 18 with just under 13 minutes left. Your round 13 clash, the final game of the season for both teams. Lachlan Martin's farewell game here in the SRL. And it could be a farewell game for some departing players on these two teams. We'll probably be looking forward to Mad Monday next week.
He's held there. One.
But plenty to look forward to for them both. Plenty of optimism when we look in some of the bright spots for both these sides. The Titans just need to find their consistency. And Liam Ryan just throws an absolute shocker straight to Luke Driscoll. And the Roosters are rubbing their hands once again, Tyrone. They've got a chance to get their lick back and score an answered try from the Titans' previous try.
Yeah, they've got to score as well. They've just been there or thereabouts for most of this second half, and a try here would mean the wonders to them. They would give them a big opportunity, and it'll be interesting to see what they can do.
Yeah, they can't afford to let this one slip away from him. Oh, Brad Goodwin, I thought he was going to swoop in there and try and dive. But maybe he's just not used to taking those sorts of dives. He'd rather just run the ball, take contact. Fifth and last, where will they go? The Roosters. Curtin just holds on to it once again. It was a bit of a poor pass to him, but they're letting it slip away from them now, East. They need to just tidy it up, and try and get themselves back in this game with 10 minutes left.
Let him go. 2.
And Driscoll will take the contact there. About 25 from their own line here, the Gold Coast, but the defense from the Roosters has just been sublime in the second half. And McLucky once again from dummy half. He takes it to scoot, but it doesn't get too far. Driven back a bit, actually. 4 tackle now. They're in formation, but they go flat to Luke Driscoll. Just try and get them some extra space here to set up for the kick. They play the ball into the pocket. Liam Ryan will get them out of trouble. Beautiful ball there. And Edwards there to return it.
That's one. Move.
But you have to say, Tyrone, the Roosters need to go coast to coast. They need to go end to end here. With less than 10 minutes remaining, they've got 2 converted tries to score, and they need to be the next team to score both tries.
Yes, they
here we go,
need
Tyler
to.
Weston.
That's a really good run.
Sorry to cut you off again, Tyrone, but the Roosters, every time I leave the mic for 1 second, they just pull out a play, a magic play out of their back pocket. And Butler, I thought he passed that one off, but he just stood there with it and he was wrapped up. Easy pickings for the Gold Coast defenders now. 5th and last. The Roosters give it back to Goodwin. Goodwin will just punt it. Thought he was going to go for the high bomb, but Goats is there and they wrap him on the return. And the Roosters going to have to dig deep here and play the biggest defensive set of their season to try and halt this momentum from the Gold Coast and keep themselves on this side of the field.
Yeah, and it's going to be difficult, but when you get an intercept...
Once again, Jesus, if we had a drinking game for every time an interception was thrown, you'd have to have your keys taken off you. Brad Goodwin now, he'll run it up, takes the contact. The Roosters fans on their feet, they are cheering out of their skin. Matty Harris! Matty Harris! Take a bow, you good thing. He'll get the Roosters back into this game. And just when we thought it might have been over and done with Tyrone, the Roosters, they pick one off, they pick off the interception, and they score once again. They keep themselves alive in this game.
Just great work from the Roosters, but the Titans, they've been their own worst enemy in this second half, giving the ball away way too many times. And the Roosters here, they have a little insight back into this game, surprisingly, with 6 to go.
Yeah, Tyrone, they've got a small glimmer of hope now, a breath of new life. As Blair Curtin will slot this one from the left-hand side, which will give the Titans a 6-point lead, 24-30, in favour of the visitors. But the Roosters have just struck back in the second half, and it doesn't help when the Titans have thrown about 5 interceptions in the second half. They are just giving this game away. And based off that alone in the second half, you'd have to think that the Roosters deserve to come away with the result here tonight, because the Titans have just thrown it away, literally. And I'm not trying to have a dig at them, but that's just the reality of how this game has turned out. And the Roosters, they want to finish this one off on a high note in front of their home fans. They want to spoil Lachlan Martin's farewell party. And with 5 minutes to go, Tyrone, they've got a great chance to do just that.
Yeah, but it's going to be very difficult. They've got to get field position. They've got to get the ball. They've got to get in a good momentum. If they can do that, then they could be in for a good chance of scoring this party.
4 tackle now, but it doesn't look like they're in formation for the 40-20. They go flat to Matty Harris, who just dishes it off. Nicholas Ether finds space straight through the middle, and Nathan O'Donnell forced to bring him down here. 5th and last now, the Roosters inside the red zone. Can they put up a good kick to pin the Titans deep? Can they swoop on it? It's a high bomb. It'll be short. But Jensen takes it. And we have to put a sensor filter.
Oh, no.
SRL TV, how good is it? Lucky we're not doing it live. We'll send this to Muzzer in the production box in the post. But it's been that sort of a game, Tyrone, hasn't it?
Oh, it has. And you've just been on the edge of your seat all game. And you don't know what's going to happen. Something could happen, and then another completely different thing could happen. So anything's possible, even McCluskey.
Intercept! Intercept! Nicholas Ether ends up with it. What is going on? Could we see the miracle comeback from the Roosters? They have to get to the try line. It's now or never. It's do or die. I'm up out of my seat, Tyrone. Strap yourselves in, folks. This is going to be one hell of a finish. Brad Goodwin winds it up now. Inside the red zone, the Roosters. Here we go. What can they do with it? 3rd tackle inside. Tyler Weston steps 1. They're getting closer. They're just inches away from the try line. The white chalk is right there. Short ball inside to Black Curtin. Curtin's going nowhere. 5th and last
this
now.
is insane.
All or nothing. Roll the dice, Roosters.
Goodwin.
Get the ball away. Goodwin. Goodwin turned on his back. And that will probably be the game, Tyrone. The Roosters, they had a prime chance to just pull a miracle, a moment of magic out here. But the Titans doing well on their goal line to just hold up, and they should come away with the win.
Yeah, they should, but I think the Roosters could get one more, just one play, maybe, depending on what happens. So it'll be interesting to see. They could force a 40-20 attempt out of the Roosters, so we might not be done just yet.
And they were still throwing the ball around the Titans. They just need to
Oh,
hold on to it. And the time will tick down. They'll go for the 40-20. There's one more chance for the Roosters.
Here we
They've
go.
got to roll the dice. Tyler Weston, what can you do? Tyler Weston,
No.
he just has to be one more, but he's brought down. And that will be the game. That will be the game. The Titans have won an absolute dramatic one here at Allianz Stadium. 30-24 is the score. And the Roosters dug so deep in that second half, Tyrone. You just can't help but feel sorry for them. They were so close to leveling this game, but they just couldn't get it done tonight.
Yeah, they had a few chances as well that they missed. They could have had they should have probably had at least one more try, so it should be even. And having a look at the stats, Titans 13 errors. That most of those would have come in the second half, though. So.
Yeah, Tyrone, about maybe half to 3/4 of those errors were probably interceptions alone, but I mean, the Titans just causing too much damage in that first half for the Roosters to overcome. So we take a look at the stats. Matty Harris, a double to his name. Justin Dolan and Curtin also getting across for East. The Gold Coast Titans, Nathan O'Donnell with a hat-trick. Congratulations to him. Michael McLucky and Mark Lee both getting across the line as well. Possession was pretty even, 51% in favour of the Roosters. Completions, 20-27 for East compared to the Gold Coast, 18 from 30. But it was the errors that really stuck out for the Titans, 13 compared to 8. A penalty conceded by the Roosters. More tackles, more missed tackles from the Titans, and less line breaks as well. But I think the damage was just already done in the first half, Tyrone.
Yeah, just 24 points in the first half an hour for the Titans. It was a little bit too much to overcome for the Roosters, although they did score 24 points of their own in the end.
Yeah, and it was just, geez, what a rally it was from Sydney in the second half, but just not enough in the end as we take a look at the TBC Live player stats. And we'll start with the home side. 3 players over 200 meters with Tyler Weston leading the way at 250. He had 10 line breaks to his name. Matty Harris, the skipper, 240 run meters, 19 tackles, 8 line breaks with 2 tries. Butler over 220 as well. Curtin, Kerrigan, Goodwin, Ralph Dolan, Ether, all over 100 run meters. And what were your thoughts on the Roosters tonight, Tyrone? Who do you think were their best standout performers? And just your thoughts on their game tonight, particularly that comeback in the second half.
Yeah, although they definitely came out of the blocks very sluggish, very slow. And the one person that brought them back into the game was their skipper, Matty Harris, just 8 line breaks, a double. He almost got them back in the game. It was quite unfortunate. Charlie Butler also had a good game. And they didn't have such a bad performance in that second half, but it was just that first half an hour which costed them in the end.
Yeah, that's right, Tyrone. And before we flick over to the Titans stats, let me just say my commiserations to the Roosters this season. Obviously, it's been a tough one for them. 1 win and 12 losses to finish this SRL season. It's actually going to be the worst record in the SRL, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
1 win in the season. We haven't seen that since the Melbourne Storm of season 1. But that was an 8-team competition back then, I believe. So,
yeah.
I mean, yeah, different era now. We've got more teams, more games, and it's just not the way you want to finish it off if you're the Roosters. But plenty to look forward to in the off-season. 6 Nations, the signing window, free agency, the draft. It's all happening. But, you know, it's been a pleasure to watch them this season. And, you know, to all their boys, keep your heads up. You know, because next season will just be around the corner and it'll be their time to try and turn things around and bounce back next season. But we turn over now. Pardon my dribble here, but the Titans stats, we'll get to it. Michael McLucky, 275 run meters, playing out hooker tonight, 32 tackles with only just 1 missed, 3 tackle breaks, 5 line breaks, a try assist, and a try to his name, Tyrone. He was just clinical tonight. A legacy game, you could call it.
I mean, you could, yeah, just brilliant. Another great standout performance. Nathan O'Donnell 25 tackles from fullback. Didn't miss a single one. 7 line breaks and that hat trick. Just a brilliant performance from Nathan O'Donnell there, Sonny.
Yeah, he was so good at that one jersey. He's been playing there the past couple of weeks, and you know, he really led the way for this Titans attack tonight. A Hattie to his name. Luke Driscoll, I thought, was another standout with 147 run meters, 9 tackles. Liam Ryan as well. You know, he's always a factor. Their highest rated player in playing at the halves. He just has an impact no matter where he is. 2 try assists on his stat sheet tonight. Hayden Davis, Mike Borsons, Lockie Martin. And while we're on, Christian McKay over 100 meters as well. But while we're on it, congratulations to Lockie Martin on getting the victory tonight. We've had the privilege to commentate his farewell game, Tyrone, and hopefully we could see him back in the SRL in the future. It's going to be a bit of an emotional farewell for the SRL veteran, a legend in our community.
Yeah, he's just done so much for the game. I remember back when he was the old commissioner, I think it was just season 4, he brought the game back to life. And I don't think we would be where we are in this position, Sonny, without the work and effort that Lachlan Martin put in.
No, 100% Tyrone. Lockie Martin, he saved the SRL and he helped take it to new heights. You know, when we look at the eras, the era of Logan Strange in the first 3 seasons that really set the platform for the SRL, but it was that transition to Lockie that really helped take it to the next level. You know, the custom jerseys, the in-depth immersion of the SRL, the presentation of it. He's just been a pioneer in our game, but he's just a great bloke. You know, I've had many convos with him. I've worked with him. He's just been a great bloke, and it is sad to see him go, but it was a privilege to watch him play tonight, and it's been a privilege to be a part of the SRL, particularly during his time as the commissioner, Tyrone.
Yeah, just brilliant work under Lachlan, and he'll be dearly missed, you'd have to say.
Yeah, he's actually getting a standing ovation from this Allianz crowd as he takes the walk of honor, the lap of honor, being hoisted up there from Christian McKay and Liam Rogers on the shoulders. And what a champion he is. What a champion this Titans side have been tonight. They come away with a 30-24 victory in their final game of the regular season. And it'll just make Mad Monday a little bit easier for them next week. But they finish off on a high note. The Titans over the Roosters in your round 13 clash, proudly brought to you by TBC Live. I'm Sonny Tyre, here in the box with Tyrone Clay, and we'll see you on your next game here on SRL TV.